United Nations wants to make those, including Sheikh Hasina, answerable for killings during recent students' uprising, says UN spokesperson. Envoys of United Kingdom and Japan meet Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus, express interest to work with interim government. Some low-lying areas of the country, including Peni and Kumilla, inundated due to heavy rain and onrush of upstream water. Government to launch operations to stop using already banned polythene across the country from next month, says Environment and Water Resources Advisor. 17-member student subcommittee on health formed to help government in preparing list of those killed and injured during anti-discrimination student movement. Full list to be published within September 5th. More than 50 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza. The first day of first test in Rawalpindi. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Tuli Komulika Das, welcoming you all to News at 10. You have just heard the highlights. Now moving on to the details. The United Nations wants to make people, including ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, answerable for the genocide during the recent mass uprising of students and common people in Bangladesh. UN Secretary General spokesman Stefan Dujarric said these at a press briefing on Tuesday. Responding to a query on trials for killing 819 people and injuring 25,000 people during the movement, Stefan Dujarric said the United Nations has been putting emphasis on accountability from the very beginning of the crisis. He stressed the need for accountability for killings, violence, as well as violating political and human rights. Japan and the United Kingdom are ready to work with the interim government led by Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus. Japanese Ambassador to Bangladesh Yama Kiminori and British High Commissioner to Bangladesh Sarah Cook expressed their keenness during a meeting with Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House Jamuna today. During the meeting with the Chief Advisor, the Japanese ambassador compared Bangladesh with Japan in terms of reconstruction of his country after the Second World War. The Chief Advisor sought Japanese financial assistance for Bangladesh's reconstruction. The Japanese ambassador assured all kinds of support to Bangladesh. The Japanese ambassador also mentioned the establishment of a library for Bangladeshi children. Mentioning that Bangladesh is a big family, Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus said that here in this country, no one is an enemy to anyone but brother and sister to each other. Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus hoped that Japan's ties with Bangladesh would be further strengthened in the days to come. Later, British High Commissioner Sarah Cook congratulated Dr. Muhammad Yunus on his assumption of responsibility of Chief Advisor of the interim government. The ambassador announced the continued support of the UK to the interim government. The Chief Advisor urged the British investors to invest more in Bangladesh. Dr. Yunus sought the help of the British government to bring back the siphoned money. The Chief Advisor said Bangladesh's relationship with the UK is very deep and will be strengthened further in the future. Later, briefing reporters at Foreign Service Academy, Press Secretary to the Chief Advisor Shafiqul Alam said both Japan and the UK assured of continuing support to the Rohingyas. Replying to a query, the Press Secretary said the interim government wants to hold a free, fair and neutral election after carrying out institutional reforms.
তারা এই গভর্নমেন্টের সাথে দেয়ার স্ট্যান্ড রেডি টু ওয়ার্ক উইথ দিস গভর্নমেন্ট ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্ট লেড বাই প্রফেসর মোহাম্মদ ইউনুস। প্রফেসর ইউনুসের নেতৃত্বে বাংলাদেশ আবার রিবিল্ড করবে। উনি বাংলাদেশের সাথে তিনটা বিষয়ে বলেছেন যে এই তিনটা বিষয়ে বাংলাদেশের সাথে তাদের খুব সুদৃঢ় একটা সম্পর্ক আছে। বাংলাদেশের সাথে তাদের ইকোনমিক কোঅপারেশন আরও স্ট্রেংথেন হবে। পিস অ্যান্ড স্টেবিলিটির কথা বলেছেন বাংলাদেশে। আর হচ্ছে যে হিউম্যান টু হিউম্যান যে রিলেশনশিপ, রোহিঙ্গাদের বিষয়ে মূল সলিউশন হচ্ছে তাদের রিপ্যাট্রিয়েশনটা। সারাকুকু তার রিইটারেট করেন যে তারা দে স্ট্যান্ড রেডি টু সাপোর্ট বাংলাদেশ। সারাকুক বলেছেন যে তারা কন্টিনিউ করবেন রোহিঙ্গাদের অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্স। প্রফেসর ইউনূস তার বক্তব্যে বলেছেন যে রোহিঙ্গাদের এডুকেশনের ব্যাপারে জোর দিয়েছেন, যাতে ওরা একসময় যখন ফিরে যায় তারা যেন হিউম্যান রিসোর্সেস হয়ে ফিরে যেতে পারে। গভর্নমেন্টের ব্রডার ম্যান্ডেট হচ্ছে ডিপ রুটেড রিফর্মস করা। তো এটা যেগুলো ইনস্টিটিউশন আছে, যেগুলো ইনস্টিটিউশন করলে বাংলাদেশি সোসাইটি বেনিফিটেড হবে, রিফর্ম করে ওনাদের একটা ট্রানজিশনের জন্য ওনারা যাতে তাড়াতাড়ি একটা ইলেকশন দিতে পারেন এবং ইলেকশনে যারা ক্ষমতায় আসবেন তারা বাকিটা করবেন।
President of France Emmanuel Macron congratulated Chief Advisor Dr. Mohamed Yunus. In a congratulatory message, Emmanuel Macron said France looks forward to working with Bangladesh interim government chief and his teams to strengthen the bilateral relationship. The France president said the interim government led by Dr. Yunus will have the important task of preparing the ground for democratic elections. In his letter, President Macron wished Dr. Mohamed Yunus every success in meeting the challenges. The United States of America wants to work with the interim government of Bangladesh on different issues of bilateral interests and values. Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder said this at a press conference on Tuesday. Responding to a query on the role of Army to maintain peace and stability under the interim government led by Professor Dr. Mohamed Yunus, the Pentagon spokesman said the U.S. has defense ties with Bangladesh. He said they are keen to work on mutual values and common interest. The Pentagon spokesman also said that they would like to work for a free Indo-Pacific region. He hoped that human rights will be protected in Bangladesh alongside avoiding any kind of violence. After the fall of the Awami League government, foreign remittance has started to increase according to the central bank data. Bangladesh received 113 crore 42 lakh US dollar remittances in the first 17 days of August. The amount of the remittance received in the 17th day of August is more than the total remittance of July, even it is more than August of the last year. The country received daily 3 crore 18 lakh 83,333 US dollars on average in the first 3 days of the current month. Experts said remittances will increase if expatriates can be given equal opportunities in the banking channel to reduce the activities of hundi traders. People concerned said that the increase in remittances sent by expatriates through legal banking channels will play a positive role in the country's economy. Rivers of some districts including Peni, Kumilla and Rangamati are overflowing due to heavy torrential rains and onrush of upstream water from India. Many villages of these areas have been inundated. Rescue operations are going on locally. Many areas of Pulgaji and Porshuram Upojilas in Peni have been inundated due to torrential rains and upstream downpours from India. Water of Muhuri River is flowing over 55 centimeters above the danger level. Transportation halted as various roads of these two upajilas have been inundated. Reports say more than 1 lakh water marooned people are suffering extremely. Fire services personnel and volunteer students are conducting rescue operations to take flood-affected people to shelters in Parshuram. Nearly 100 people have been rescued so far in Molvi Bazar. All rivers are flowing above the danger level at minimum 4 places. Water of Manu, Dholai, Juri and Kushiara increased severely due to heavy rainfall and upstream water. Water of Manu River is flowing 95 centimeters above the danger level at railway bridge point. 274 millimeter rainfall has been recorded in Kumilla during last 3 days. 56 millimeter rainfall was recorded alone during last 24 hours. Water of Gomoti River is flowing above the danger level due to heavy rainfall. Besides, water of all rivers in Naranganj has increased. Low-lying areas on the banks of 6 rivers, including Shitalakha, Dhaleshwari and Brahmaputra, have been inundated. Upstream water from hills caused flood in Khagrachari. Sajek has been disconnected as Khagrachari-Sajek road has been submerged underwater. Lots of tourists stranded there. Akhaura land port of Brahmanbaria has been inundated due to upstream water from India. People from at least 10 villages have become water marooned. Communication on Akhaura-Agartala road has been halted as a bridge in the area collapsed due to heavy stream water. Meanwhile, a press briefing was held in the conference room of Disaster Management and Relief Ministry today over the ongoing flood situation. Additional Secretary of the Ministry, K.M. Ali Reza, said 8 districts of the country were flooded due to heavy rains and onrush of water from the upstream. The flood-affected districts include Sunamganj, Molavi Bazar, Hobiganj, Peni, Chattogram, Noakhali, Kumilla and Khagrachari. The Additional Secretary said the 1 crore 87 lakh taka in cash, 15,900 metric ton of rice and 15,000 packets of dried food have already been allotted for flood-affected areas. Besides, teams from Army and Navy are working in rescue operations in Peni, he added.
উজানে বৃষ্টির পরিমাণ আরো বাড়তে পারে আগামী 48 ঘন্টায় মৌলভীবাজার হবিগঞ্জ জেলার বনু খোয়াই ধলাই ও সারিগোয়াইন নদীর পানি সমতল কতিপয় পয়েন্টে বিপদসীমার উপর দিয়ে প্রভাবিত হতে পারে এই জায়গাতে একটু ঝুঁকি আছে যেখানে পানির লেভেলটা বাড়ছে
Education advisor Wahiduddin Mahmood said the decision of Dhaka Education Board chairman to cancel postponed HSC and equivalent examinations will remain in place. The advisor made the comment while talking to journalists in the secretariat today. Replying to a query about how the examinees will be evaluated, the advisor said the experts in this sector will decide and education boards will inform the decisions on the issue. Regarding new recruitments for vice-chancellors and other important posts in universities, the education advisor said efforts are underway to make quick appointments in important posts in the universities. Advisor on Environment and Water Resources Saida Rizwana Hassan said the interim government will engage in discussions with India regarding shared rivers including the Tista. The government will speak to the people on the Tista banks, she added. The advisor made the comments while talking to journalists in her office at the Secretariat in Dhaka today. Saida Rizwana Hassan also mentioned that the Department of Environment has already been instructed to provide a list of the country's most polluted rivers and polluting entities. An operation to ban polythene will commence in September, she added. Replying to a query about banning illegal brick fields, the advisor on Environment and Water Resources said the brick fields which have no license will be closed and no new license will be issued anymore. Environment and Water Resources advisor Saida Rizwana Hassan informed about adopting a program with students to stop blowing of unnecessary horns on roads at 10 places in Dhaka. Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant General retired Muhammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhary visited Border Guard Hospital in Pilkhana this morning in the capital to see BGB members and students who were injured in the anti-discrimination student movement. BGB Director General Major General Muhammad Ashrafuzzaman Siddiqui along with senior officials of BGB headquarters were present. The Home Advisor spoke to the injured BGB members and students admitted there and inquired about their treatment. He gave instructions to all concerned officials, including the BGB Director General, to ensure better medical care for the injured. At the press briefing after the visit, Home Affairs Advisor Lieutenant General retired Jahangir Alam Chaudhary called upon everyone to cooperate from their respective position to ensure proper treatment of the injured.
পরিবেশও যেরকম সুন্দর এখানে ট্রিটমেন্টের ব্যবস্থা খুব ভালো এখানে ডাক্তার যারা আছে খুবই নামি দামি ডাক্তার এবং তারা খুব ভালোভাবে তাদের কেয়ার নিচ্ছে এদের যতভাবে পারেন আপনারা উপকার করার চেষ্টা করবেন শুধু এই ইনজুর না যারা অন্যান্য হসপিটাল আছে তার জন্য আপনারা চেষ্টা করবেন
A 17-member Central Subcommittee on Health has been formed to assist the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in preparing the list of those killed and injured in the student movement. The committee will publish the full list of the injured and killed by September 5th. The announcement was made during a press conference at the office of Dhaka University Journalists Association in TSC today. Addressing the press conference, Member Secretary of the newly formed Subcommittee on Health, Tariqul Islam, said that the committee will not accept any kind of financial transaction like grant or assistance. The subcommittee informed that no financial funds will be collected. Legal actions will be taken against any person or organization other than a member of the Central Subcommittee on Health or an approved volunteer who obstructs the treatment in the name of visiting the hospital, in the name of visiting the coordinator or any other identity. They sought cooperation from all in preparing a complete list of those injured and killed in the movement. In order to provide emergency contact and information, the call center number of the Ministry of Health is 16263. The control room number of the Department of Health is 01759 114488 and 0176 9954192, and the National Subcommittee number is 01818 279217 and 01400 728080. BNP chairperson and former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia has reached her Gulshan residence Firoza from Evercare Hospital in the capital after long treatment. According to the decision of the medical board, she left the hospital for home at around 7 p.m. A Dhaka court has granted 4-day remand each to Awami League Organizing Secretary Ahmed Hussain and Rear Admiral Muhammad Sohail in Jubo Dal leader Nobin Talukdar murder case filed with Paltan Thana. As they were produced before the court today, the investigating officer of the case applied for a 10-day remand for both of them for the sake of proper investigation. Dhaka Metropolitan Magistrate Muhammad Joshim accepted the plea and passed the order. Earlier on Tuesday night, Ahmed Hussain was arrested from Gulshan in the capital and Sohail, who was sent to mandatory retirement from the Navy from Bonani area. Hospitals in the capital are experiencing pressure of the patients due to intensity of dengue. Patients from Shavar, Ashulia and Dohar are also thronging hospitals in the capital. As many as 10,065 dengue patients admitted to hospitals from January to till date. Of the admitted patients, 75 died so far. Health experts stress the need for awareness as the intensity of dengue goes up during the period from June to September. Aedes mosquitoes, the cause of dengue, grow in locked water. According to health experts, variants of Aedes mosquitoes have been changed in recent years. They said Aedes mosquitoes can surface in any season, so there is no alternative to awareness to avoid dengue. Moving on to the international news. At least 52 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks across the Gaza Strip, including 12 at a Gaza City school and 9 at a crowded market area in Deir el-Balah. Gaza's government media office accused the Israeli military of targeting gatherings of civilians and said it holds Israel and the American administration fully responsible for the ongoing massacres. At least 40,173 people have been killed and 92,857 wounded in Israel's attack on Gaza since October 7, 2023. Meanwhile, Hezbollah said 4 of its fighters were killed in Israeli attacks on southern Lebanon. The Lebanese armed group also claimed 12 attacks on Israeli positions. A bus carrying Pakistan pilgrims overturned in Iran, killing at least 28 passengers. Another 23 passengers were injured in the accident. The crash happened on Tuesday night in the central Iranian province of Yazd due to a defective braking system. The pilgrims were traveling from the Sindh province in Pakistan to Iraq's holy city of Karbala to commemorate one of the biggest events in Shia calendar. Some 53 people are believed to have been on the bus at the time of the crash. Pakistan's President Asif Ali Zardari mobilized the Foreign Ministry to repatriate the bodies of those killed in the crash and provide aid to the injured. Now news on sports. Pakistan scored 158 runs for 4 wickets, ending all spectaculations. Nazmul Hasan Papon stepped down from his role as Bangladesh Cricket Board BCB's president today. Former national team captain and former chief selector Farooq Ahmed has been elected as the new president. The decision of Papon's resignation came from the BCB's emergency board meeting today, held at the conference room of the Youth and Sports Ministry. Nazmul Hasan Papon attended the meeting via online and he sent the resignation letter by email. Najmul took charge of BCB for the first time in 2012 as the president nominated by the government. He became the elected president the following year. Since then, he has been serving as the elected president of BCB for 3 consecutive terms. He quit the post following the fall of Sheikh Hasina government. Meanwhile, the new president Farooq Ahmed said that his goal is to do the betterment of the country's cricket.
লক্ষ্য তো অনেক বড় বাংলাদেশ প্রথম প্রধান লক্ষ্য দেশের সম্মান বৃদ্ধি উজ্জ্বল করা দেশের মুখ প্লাস দ্য টিমকে একটা জায়গায় দেখতে চাই তো সেক্ষেত্রে এটা তো একটা অনেক বড় একটা ব্যাপার কিভাবে দেখব সো অনেক জায়গায় আমাদের কাজ করতে হবে আপনারা জানেন যে অনেক দিন ধরে কাজ হয়েছে হয় নাই অনেক কোশ্চেন আছে বাট আমাদের প্রধান এবং প্রধানতম দায়িত্ব হচ্ছে আমার যে ক্রিকেটকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়া দেশকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়া এটা যদি আমরা মাথায় রাখি বাংলাদেশ এবং বাংলাদেশ ক্রিকেট দল তাহলে আমাদের কাজগুলো খুব সহজ হবে
We are at the end of the news. To end the bulletin, headlines once again.